Hi, I'm Attorney Ben Schwartz, and today I've got some questions about on-the-job car accidents. The questions are courtesy of Sue in Newark, Delaware. I want to take a moment before I start going through the questions that Sue asked us to answer, and I want to say that, this is a pretty particular area of the law, and what I'm going to talk about is how things work in Delaware. A lot of the viewers on our website of our videos on our website are in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and this really does not apply to Maryland law, but there's going to be similarities between the states. And so if you have a case that's an on-the-job car accident and it's not in Delaware, get a hold of us. We have attorneys in other states, and we can get you answers to your questions and let you know how things work in other states. So this is really about Delaware law, and I've got seven questions that I'm going to answer about how things work when you have an on-the-job car accident in the state of Delaware. The first question is, I was injured in a car accident, but I was working. Do I have a case against the at-fault driver, or do I have a workers' compensation case? And the answer is you have both. There are things that are available under both a claim against the at-fault driver and a claim for workers' compensation benefits. And what you need to do is you need to make both claims. You need to get an attorney that is comfortable handling both claims and who does enough of this type of who handles enough of these types of cases to know how to coordinate benefits. So basically the answer is it's both. The second question is, where do lost wages come from in the case of an on-the-job car accident? And the answer is that under workers' compensation, you're entitled to lost wages. In workers' compensation cases, that's called temporary total disability benefits. And in a car accident case, you're entitled to make a claim for lost wages under the personal injury protection, or PIP, insurance on the car that you're occupying. And so the thing about that is that under workers' comp, you don't get your full lost wages. You get 2/3 the average weekly wage up to a maximum, and the maximum changes every year. Under an auto accident PIP claim, you get 80% of your net lost wages. And so oftentimes what we will do is we will make a claim under both. We'll make a claim under the workers' comp for lost wages for total temporary disability under the workers' comp claim. That'll pay 2/3 of the wage. And then we make a claim under the personal injury protection under the auto policy for the difference between 2/3 and 80%. The third question is, what other types or kinds of compensation can you get if you were injured in an on-the-job car accident? And there are a number of other types of compensation available. For instance, under both workers' comp insurance and auto insurance, personal injury protection, you're entitled to have your medical bills paid, reasonable and necessary medical expenses resulting from the accident. Some other things that are available in the form of benefits under these two types of insurance are compensation for permanent impairment. So if you have a partial permanent impairment to your shoulder, let's say that you had shoulder surgery after your on-the-job car accident, we could get a rating from an orthopedic doctor. The rating would say you might have a 15% permanent partial impairment of the shoulder joint, and then we could get you compensation for that. Also, in the auto accident case, if you've got a claim against the at-fault driver, you could also be compensated for your permanent injury. You could be compensated for your pain and suffering. There are other types of compensation available. For instance, in workers' comp, you're entitled to disfigurement benefits. So if you have surgery and you end up with a surgery scar, you're entitled to be compensated for that scar. That's called disfigurement. You can also make that same claim in the personal injury case, in the auto accident case, against the at-fault driver. And there are other things that are available in the way of compensation under both claims, the workers' comp and the auto accident insurance claims. The next question is, how could it possibly be legal to make two claims? How can you be allowed to collect the same money twice? And the answer is that it's legal to make both claims, but you're not going to collect the same thing twice. For instance, if you have medical bills that are paid under workers' comp, you're not going to claim them under your auto insurance too. It's good enough for workers' comp to pay them. If you have lost wages, you're not going to claim the lost wages twice. You're going to claim the lost wages under a comp and then just get the difference between what comp pays and the 80% you're entitled to under the auto. So you're not getting things twice. If you are awarded compensation under workers' comp, and then you make a claim against the at-fault driver, in many cases there is what's called a lien, L-I-E-N, which means that workers' comp paid, when you get the compensation from the at-fault driver's insurance company, you have to pay workers' comp back. That way you're not getting paid twice for the same thing. The next question is, what are the time limits for making insurance claims or lawsuit complaints, filing lawsuit complaints in these types of cases? Generally speaking, in Delaware, we've got a 2-year statute of limitations. So if you're going to make a workers' compensation claim, you've got 2 years to either get an agreement signed and filed with the Industrial Accident Board, or you have 2 years to get your petition filed with the Industrial Accident Board. With a on-the-job auto accident claim, you have 2 years to file a lawsuit against the at-fault driver, and you also need to make a personal injury protection claim under your own auto insurance or under the auto insurance for the vehicle you were occupying. That needs to be made, and all of the medical bills need to be submitted, or lost wage claims need to be submitted within 2 years and 90 days. The next question from Sue is, can I get fired for making a workers' compensation claim? And the answer is, you can get fired for anything. The real question is, what are you going to do about it? If you get fired in Delaware because you made a workers' compensation claim and your employer got angry and decided to can you, you have a right to sue the employer for retaliation. And the Delaware retaliation statute has, it's pretty strong. So if you have a situation where you make a claim for workers' compensation benefits due to an on-the-job injury, an on-the-job auto accident, and your employer takes adverse action against you, they cut your hours, they terminate you, that's a retaliation claim. You should speak to an attorney about that. And then finally, Sue in New York, Delaware asks, how much does it cost to talk to an attorney about an on-the-job accident situation? And the answer is, it doesn't cost anything. We give free consultations to folks who are injured in on-the-job accidents or incidents. The consultation is free. You meet with an attorney, you find out more about your legal rights, and we evaluate your claim. And then if you decide to hire an attorney, typically what we do is handle these types of cases on a contingent fee basis, which means that you only have to pay an attorney's fee if we win or settle your claim. Typically in personal injury cases, attorney's fees, in Delaware, attorney's fees tend to be 1/3 of whatever settlement you get. Sometimes it's higher. In our firm, our standard fee agreement says that the attorney's fees are 40% if your case goes to a jury trial. Now, in other states, that's not standard. In other states, I believe that attorney's fees may be higher. For instance, I know a lot of Philadelphia attorneys that charge a standard 40% no matter what. I have met a couple of New York attorneys that charge higher than that. Also, when you have certain types of claims, the attorney's fees can be limited by statute. For example, in federal Federal Tort Claims Act cases, attorney's fees are limited to 25%, but that's not your typical situation, and that's why a lot of attorneys won't take those types of cases. But anyways, just to talk to an attorney and find out more about your legal rights, see if you're comfortable with the attorney, see if the attorney wants to take your case, and see if you want to take that attorney as your lawyer. That doesn't cost anything. Consultations in these types of cases with the attorneys in my office are free, and also consultations with attorneys in other offices are free as well. So you should give a call, let us hook you up with a consultation, with a meeting with an attorney, and find out more about your legal rights. My name is Ben Schwartz. Thanks for watching the video. This has been 7 questions about on-the-job car accidents in the state of Delaware. I hope that you found the video informative and interesting. It tends to be somewhat dry material, so if you made it through to the end of this video, congratulations. Hopefully you picked up a tip or two, and now you know something you didn't know before. If you have any questions about how things work in personal injury cases, please feel free to send me an email. If you give me questions, send me an email with some questions. I may do another video and answer your questions on the internet. And if you would like to comment on this video or comment on your thoughts and views of the law, please go to our Facebook page. We're at facebook.com/Schwartz&Schwartz. Leave us a comment there. Thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you again.